Now that we've done the exploded view for the miniature train, we're ready to start creating our drawings for the miniature train design. And I'm going to start off using the miniature train assembly, and I want to go up to File, New Drawing from Design. And as far as the template goes, I want to choose IED Title Block B, and I'm going to say OK. This is going to bring our design over into the drawing workspace. And one of the things that we're going to be starting off with is I want to do a northeast isometric. And I want to go ahead and create this on, let's try 1:1 scale. And I'm going to go ahead and set this on there. And you're going to notice some of the lines are missing. Those are referring to as the tangent edges. So I need to check tangent edges. So on this first option. And I'm going to go ahead and shade it. And I'm going to go ahead and hit close. So now what I can do here is I'm going to create what they call a title sheet. So this is just going to kind of like show the design like in an isometric view. And in the text, utilizing the text tool, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little box up here. And I want to go ahead and put in there for the design in all capitals, miniature train design. I'm going to go ahead and center it. The height on this, as noted by, if you remember from the rubric, 0.75, and we are going to bold this lettering. And if you grab, or if you were to grab that lower corner, but we want this all to be on one line, and we're going to kind of just center this right on our paper. Okay. Same thing down here. I'm going to use the text command, bringing the bottom one in. And you're going to go through and put design by, and then you will put your name on there. Bold. This one here is going to have a text height of 0.5, so a little bit smaller text to make them fit a little bit better as well. And there is going to be what we have on our title sheet. And we are good to go to start continuing the rest of the drawings. So I'm going to go ahead, and when I'm ready for a new drawing, I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign next to the sheet down here at the bottom lower left-hand corner of the screen. This is going to open up a new sheet of paper. If I want to go back, here's my title sheet. And from here, I'm going to click Base View in order to bring up a part. Now, under the representation, this is where we're going to create our assembly drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and choose under Representation Storyboard 1. This will have all the exploded view parts. I am going to change the scale. I'm going to shade it. I'm going to change the scaling. Let's try 3/4 scale. 3/4 works pretty well for what we have to still put on the sheet. And I want to make sure to turn on the tangent edges. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my exploded view there on the drawing. All right, so there we have our shaded isometric view of the explosion. And from here, I do want to go through and create under the tables. I want to choose a parts list. So, and here it automatically picks up what I would like to have. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this down in the bottom right corner till it snaps. And here it will hopefully automatically balloon all the parts that I would like to have. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the parts list. I'm going to uncheck description. So that way that'll kind of decrease the size of our parts list there. And in table direction, I want to change to down. So that way it follows in the order in which we put those parts in. And I'm going to go ahead and say close. And the only other thing we want to check here is, do we have all the parts being represented, but also some of the balloons that are showing up here as well. Like the 2 is really far away, so I'm going to kind of bring it a little closer. And I'm just going to kind of spread these apart a little bit more. The other thing is too, is I may want to try to pick along the arrow points. Maybe some of these points need a little bit better positioning for what we have. Okay, so like here, this particular one, number 4, is crossing a trail line. We really don't want lines to be crossing each other, so as much as we can help it. So I'm going to move 8 over here, and keep in mind that I still need to do one for number 4. The train wheel, let me move that point out to the outside edge. So that way it's pointing to it. I think I'm going to also move number 1. I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to go ahead and put number 5 right there. So I like the position of most of them, but I'm going to go ahead and if I want to re-balloon any of the parts, I can choose the balloon command. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the train body. I'm going to put that up here. And then instead of the axle peg being down here, I'm going to choose one of these other axle pegs, choosing it, and then putting that balloon there. So just verifying, sometimes Fusion can miss a balloon, but here it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all being represented, as well as having all of my parts being there. So here, because of the demo, these for you should all say ABS plastic and instead of steel. All right, to bring in our isometric view, I'm going to choose model northeast isometric to be put in there, and I'm going to see if let me see if we can get a 3/4 scale on this one as well. Yep, and we're just going to put a assembled view right up here. Tangent edges turned on, shading turned on, and I'm going to place a shaded isometric assembled view there in the corner. That way we can see what it looks like when it's all together. All right, so this video will conclude how to create the title sheet, how to create the assembly drawing. In the subsequent videos, it's going to show you how to set up to do some of the harder drawings for some of the harder parts that you had to model, like the train body and the wheel. And those will help you create those for the rest of the project.